You can see my ugly mug. Are you talking about my face, or are you talking about this mug? My glass. Okay, so let's go through this. This is the AMA that was done today, like at 2 p.m. or some shit. Right now I'm on, let me just refresh this. This is essentially, some mod did this where it's like, hey, here's all the, questions and answers that happened. So we get a nice little condensed version. I say condensed, there's a lot of questions. Some good, some bad. We'll go over them. So, blah, 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 blah. What will happen to loot boxes and the current currencies once Overwatch 2 goes live? Quick answer now is those existing currencies, credits, Overwatch League tokens, and competitive points will come with you into Overwatch 2. We are not transitioning loot boxes into Overwatch 2, and ahead of launch, any unopened loot boxes will automatically open to your account and receive all the contents directly. Edit. Clarify below, as well as that Overwatch 1 credits come with you to Overwatch 2, but with our new virtual currency will be the main currency, and there will be things in Overwatch 2 that will not be purchasable through those Overwatch 1 credits. So, you get Overwatch 1 credits in Overwatch 2, but it may not get what you want. Maybe you can buy, like, sprays with it and shit that no one wants, but probably not much. How about this? You'll probably be able to buy the stuff you could in Overwatch 1, probably nothing more in the future. A while ago, you announced some meaty changes for Sim. What are their goals on remaining rework? What can we expect? And they say, I wouldn't call it a rework since it's more tuning than changing the mechanics, but the general goal is to change to help improve her mobility and enable her to better react to the faster pace of 5v5. Can't go into all the details, but things like shorter teleporter build time and faster secondary fire projectiles. That's pretty strong. Her projectile, the secondaries are already the slowest. I think it's by far the slowest thing in the game. So, cool. Both those things. I didn't expect that faster secondary fire to be changed, but shorter teleporter build time. I actually expected Sim to, when she places a teleporter, she teleports with it instantly, and then it gets set up behind her, and then her team can come. But it essentially allows Sim to be, like an engaging hero where you'll basically blink forward, and then your team can come. What are your plans regarding maps that will go unused in Overwatch 2? Temple of Nudus, Hamura, yada yada yada. They'll still be available in custom games, but they won't be used in other modes at launch. I have some ideas I'd love to try when it comes to repurposing them for new potential game modes, so different game modes. But these ideas could only see the light of day in the distant future given our current plans. If we did find a way to give them a new mode, we want to do extensive testing in the arcade or in other formats where we can get community feedback. We know how divisive Assault was for most of our player base, and we agree that it had issues, so we wouldn't bring these maps back without a lot of testing. So, right here, and given Overwatch's... So, first of all, Overwatch has way too many maps as it is. And I don't want to say like it has too many maps, but we're getting to the point where we need map vetoes, right? Imagine if 2CP was with us in push, and we would have like, how many maps is that? Is that like 24? We got Assault, Hybrid, King of the Hill, Push, Payload, and if there's 4 maps for each of it, that's 20 maps. So I actually don't know how many maps we have, and if I even listed all the game modes, maybe I missed one, but we're getting to the point where, like, when people pick up the game new next, like when Overwatch 2 comes out, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to play Push, it's possible you won't play Push the first day you get the game, right? Like, it's possible you play 10 maps, which is going to be like 3 to 4 hours, and none of those 10 maps will be a push. I don't know what type of logic they have on the back end. I don't know if Push is more, maybe the new maps have a higher chance, let's say, or what's going on, but yeah. It's good to know that they're not going to do anything crazy with them, and because we're getting so many more maps, we're getting a new map every 2 seasons, right? Or every 3 seasons. Basically, it's support, map, that back and forth. So I don't see them being used anytime soon, especially with new maps that we have coming out. Like, if we get a new map every 3 months and we get 3 or 4 new maps next year, guys, we're going to be hitting fucking 25, 30 maps really quickly. So I don't see them coming back at all. Unless they do something crazy and they figure something out. But I wouldn't expect them to be coming back anytime soon. What does early access mean for Overwatch 2? When is this happening? Yeah, this is just like, yeah. Early access indicates the start of many new things to come. New heroes, new maps, new features, yada, yada, yada. These are coming seasonally, every 9 weeks. We released a roadmap. We all know about this shit. Yeah. Overwatch 1 merges with Overwatch 2, October 4th. We know all this. Here's a good one, and this is going to piss a lot of people off. But fuck them, because they're wrong. We won't be will MMR SR for competitive play be reset on a current accounts rolling in Overwatch 2? We won't be performing complete MMR reset for Overwatch 2, but we do plan on lowering the MMR of accounts who haven't played in a while as part of a new decay system. A complete reset would mean that games would be completely imbalanced for weeks or longer across the entire service, and we don't think that'll be a great experience for everyone. So, I am not for MMR reset, and people will be like, well, Chro, that's because you're at the top. And I'll be like, yes, good for you to recognize I'm the top. It's MMR reset to me is like everyone's last ditch effort into not blaming themselves. I would almost want there to be an MMR reset so people stay where they're at and then they have nowhere to complain. But really, I don't see it fixing anything. We technically had an MMR reset when everyone got placed in gold for like 3 days, and it was absolute garbage. Like, I was up against bronze players, and I'm just destroying them. It was not good. The game would be almost unplayable for most people for a month because you just keep getting dunked on, and every map would just be, well, did you get the bad player? Did you get the good player? Did you get the bronze guy? Oh, you got the bronze guy, you lose. And they already have the data, and the game's not changing that much. I get that people are like, 5v5, different game, completely different. No, not really. It does change a lot, but at the same time, if you don't think your skills are going to translate to Overwatch 2, you're fucking dumb. Yeah, I don't know. To me, this would be like changing from, floor hockey to, I don't know, ice hockey? I mean, yeah, you get the skates, but stick handling, all that other stuff, most of it will translate. Maybe a bit of a learning curve, but if you get it, you get it. Like, I get it. It's a little bit of a change, but not much. And even then, that hockey analogy isn't that great, because ice hockey is a lot harder than floor. A good one, a better one, floor hockey to street hockey. So you play with the same type of ball. Because I did play street hockey and I did play floor hockey, and I whooped everyone's ass at floor hockey, and I never played it. I only played street. Either way, this is good news. No reason for them to throw out all the data of all of our accounts just to make some whiners feel better about themselves when truly they're the ones at fault. Back in 2020, Jeff Kaplan said borders are going away. How will you recognize player playtime? We will remove portraits for Overwatch 2, but we also want to celebrate this legacy accomplishment. The plan is to display your portrait level in your profile once we launch Overwatch 2. So you won't see it on profiles, but if you just right-click, you'll be able to see people's... I assume you'll be able to see people's. Maybe it's hidden privately. Who knows? What is it like filling in as the new game director? And he's like, I've been here since 2008. So he's been there for 12 years. Well, 14 years at this point. So it's not a very interesting question. A lot of people are confused about the lore when some events took place. I don't care about the PvE timeline. Don't give a fuck. We're going to have biographies of the Jungle Queen and the new heroes and maybe some updates from the older ones. Sure. Okay, this one's important because this actually, I'm probably going to buy the Watchpoint pack for a bunch of reasons. But this question, and it's a long shot, guys. I'm going to trust Blizzard on this one. It's not like we've been fucked over by trusting Blizzard before. I get it. I understand. I'm right there saying the same shit you guys are. But this was actually a really, a very well worded question. It says, I want to buy the Watchpoint pack, but I don't understand what its value is. Can you go into more detail about how much it will cost to buy a Battle Pass, 2,000 virtual currency, or legendary skins once Overwatch 2 releases, so I can better evaluate if this package is worth purchasing? That's a really good question because I could be like, oh my god, guys, if you send me $20, I'll give you 10 Chro bucks. Oh, what a deal. What a fucking deal. And you're like, oh my god, 10 Chro bucks, that's great. And then you're like, wait a second, what are those worth? And I'm like, in my system, once you get 3 million, I'll change my skin on Junkrat. And then you're like, yeah, this is worthless. So what does 2,000 virtual currency mean? The fuck is 2,000? It could be 2, it could be 2 billion. What does even these numbers mean? They mean nothing to us. And they say, there are several elements within the Watchpoint pack. Our main goal is for the pack to offer great value, yada, yada, yada. For those players who already own the Legendary Edition of Overwatch 1, is... Someone please correct me. Is the Legendary Edition of Overwatch 1 when you buy Overwatch 1 before, next week? Or was there some release of Overwatch that I didn't know about, that there's some guy with an icon that I don't got? I don't know what Legendary Edition means. But the value here is 2 awesome, exclusive, oh my god, these are some important words, legendary skins. First of all, if we're going by Chro bucks, this is worth 0 Chro bucks. Skins aren't worth shit, alright? Unless they allow me to spit in someone else's face, I don't fucking want skins. The Season 1 Premium Battle Pass, okay, that's value, right? Because people do want to buy that. 2,000 virtual currency, again, doesn't mean much, but we can get what it means here. Which players can use to buy the Premium Battle Pass for each of the next 2 seasons if they want it. A Premium Battle Pass for those seasons will be 1,000 virtual currencies each to buy. It's also a way to get immediate access when the beta begins on June 28th. So, fuck everything. As a streamer, I'll probably get... Yeah, what up, Fuey? The points will transfer over to Overwatch 1. Or, sorry, to Overwatch 2. But not everything is purchasable with Overwatch 1 currency. So they'll transfer over, and you may buy some stuff, but we don't know what. Nothing of value, I'll tell you that much. So, if I spend $40, alright, the legendary Overwatch doesn't mean fucking dick to me. 2 skins, fucking absolute nothing to me. Especially since it's Reaper and Cassidy. Who gives a fuck about those pieces of shit? But then it's you get the Battle Pass for Season 1. Okay, that inherently has some value. Battle Pass for Season 2 and 3 is what I would spend the currency on. So, okay, so I got 3 seasons worth of Battle Passes. And I don't ever play a game with Battle Pass. In fact, I've never played a game with Battle Pass before. From what people have said, Battle Passes usually range from $10, $15 to $20. So, if we look at, a Battle Pass is $20 and I spend $40 to get 3 of them, that's a good deal, I guess. In worst case, I'm spending $13 per Battle Pass instead of the $10 that they're going to cost no matter what. At that point, I lose out on $9 and whatever. I can get... maybe I'll get a tier 3 sub because I got a cool skin and it's already paid for itself at that point. And you get beta access, which I know they're going to try to fuck me on because Blizzard hates me. And they don't hate me. They just don't know I exist. Yeah. So, actually, this question was rather important because I was like, all right, there's some value in this stupid ass thing. Any future plans for the Mecha Squad? No. Good. I don't want to see any fucking diva-related shit ever. If we get more bullshit abilities, I'm fun. I don't even know if the guy. I don't even know who the fuck who runs Blizzard now. Who's this? I don't know who the new director is. At least Jeff Kaplan was like a powerful name. Aaron Keller? That's a stupid name. Jeff Kaplan would be Ding Dong. You can do a lot of cool stuff with. Jeff, that's easy. Aaron? Don't like it. Kaplan? That sounds like kablam. And that's cool, right? That's the old Batman shit. You could put Kaplan in one of the old Batman things when he punched someone? No one would notice. Will we see more Eefy? No. Do you mind elaborating about the cross-platform progression? This, honestly, to me, guys, doesn't mean shit. It just means, hey, all your Overwatch stuff is connected. Something I really want to know. In current Overwatch, are there voice lines between tanks? Do those carry to Overwatch 2? Because, tanks can't play with each other anymore. And they're like, yeah, they're still there. And he's like, I'd be very upset, for example, if Wrecking Ball and Drunk Queen didn't have a chance to chat. So, while we do lose the lines in competitive, apparently the heroes will still talk to each other tank for tank. So, that's not going anywhere. Can you share any of the Moira changes? We worked through a few more iterations with Moira to give Moira additional utility. It's not in the upcoming beta yet, but we'll be able to patch it in at some point for all of you to try out. Will Beta 2 include new hero redesigns? And can we expect what to see with all the new looks revealed on the Play Overwatch website? And he says, yes, the upcoming Overwatch 2 beta will include all new looks. More information on this coming up this week. So, I think they are finishing up the last couple heroes. Because thinking about it would be fucking hilarious, and I kind of wish they did this. But can you imagine, because Junkrat's actually the last hero that was seen with his new look. Which is par for the course, because Junkrat's the last in everything. But can you imagine if every hero had all their new visuals and then Junkrat didn't, and he just stuck out like a sore thumb? I think that'd be hilarious. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Winston's favorite joke, don't care. It's an okay question. I don't like it because I understand it already. Map design. What's the general philosophy behind push maps versus escort? And the whole thing is like, oh, TS1 can travel in loops and do all this stuff and make it take longer to get to the base, while people can just go straight there. This is why push maps will always have loops. They're always going to be turvy, which is turns and curvy combined. They'll be curvy and they'll have turns and they'll keep on looping back on themselves. Expect a lot of verticality, a lot of loop-to-loop, stuff like that. That just explains map design for push maps. It's always going to be that way. That's what that map really, as 2CP had choke points, push maps will be turny and curvy and loopy, lippity-loopity. Overwatch 2 reveal trailer. Hanamura was shown as a payload map on the career screen, but you're saying they won't do that, and he was like, it was just a prototype, we're just doing shit. No. What are the team's thoughts on more information / specific numbers on the hero information screens? Or perhaps another screen where players can get more detailed information? And this guy, I hate this answer. He's like, I'm a try-hard. And I love the idea of giving players very specific information about the mechanics in the game. This information is helpful. But no. At this point in game development, if a hero has an ability or anything, and everything is not stated in that ability, you're doing something wrong. Junkrat's attack, like when you hit F1, it shouldn't be, oh, Junkrat lobs grenades over a large period of time, blah, blah, blah. It should be like, does 121 damage at 25 meters a second for an AoE of 2, like that's what every ability should have for everything. Just list out all of the numbers. No one that hits F1 gets any help from it. No one gives two fucks about that screen. Even new players, they look at it and they're like, "That's dumb. Why would I do that when I can just press the button and see what it does?" Yes. What sort of missions can we expect from the Battle Pass? Will they be hero specific? Like hook 20 enemies with Roadhog, yada yada yada. We're planning to add a variety of challenges. We are not planning specific hero reoccurring challenges. We are planning lifetime challenges that will feel a bit more like achievements that aren't intended to progress the Battle Pass in a significant way. We want players to play the game without feeling required to swap onto specific heroes in order to earn progress. Our goal is to offer you some choices in which challenge you to focus on completing as well. So, they're allowing for one trips. Cool. Surprised they answered this question. Why, after 3 years of no content, are there only 3 heroes on launch? What a, like... Come here, buddy. What's your fucking name? Hellfire Inferno 427. Way to go, buddy. Way to ask the hard question. But he gets hit with a PR bullshit. Overwatch Heroes are incredibly exciting. Has no relation to any of this. We pour our hearts and souls into everyone that we create. Again, has nothing to fucking do with the question. Seeing the community's desire for more feels great to the team. We want more too, and I think that question as to why there aren't more heroes at release is reasonable. For context, development of Overwatch 2 was initially split between PvE and PvP. And the way it was scheduled was to get most parts of the game completed once the game was ready to ship. To be clear, there is no secret vault of completed heroes and other content that we're holding for future seasons. As we continued to iterate on the PvE side of the game, it meant that the schedule for PvP content and the features went longer. So they were putting more resources to PvE, which means they couldn't do PvP. Many of the features of PvE, such as the enemy units or hero talents, utilize the same resources on the team as heroes do. I.e., they use the same people. For us, it's more important to start shipping content as soon as we can, rather than holding it for the release of the game in order to create more heroes. So, basically, this part is kind of important, because what they're saying is, well, we were making a lot of content, and we don't have more heroes that we're holding. But the idea is we had 2 years to create all this content, and we probably were going to do the heroes a little bit later. But now it's like, we don't put everything in a box and ship the box out at once. As soon as we finish something, it goes live. Just bam, bam, bam. Keep going with it. Bam, bam, bam. This is also the reason why we're excited to get free to play and release content on a seasonal basis. They need to release content when it's finished rather than holding it to put in a box. In order to succeed with our new long-term plan, we've grown and restructured the team. We're over 3 times the size we were at launch. What I don't like about this is, like, how big was the team at launch? 5 people? Or are you at 15 people now? Was it 50 people and you're now, what, 150? How many of those are marketing and business people? How many of those are project managers that don't do shit? And I'm sorry for the project managers out there, but fuck project managers. Alright? I have a bad history with project managers. I have told my last project manager that she was a liability to the company and she shouldn't be working for us. And I told her a lot of other stuff. Namely, I don't get along with project managers. So, like, this doesn't mean anything to me. It could be a bunch of bullshit. We have big plans for the game, beyond new heroes, maps, and game modes. To accomplish these while still creating content for our seasonal takes a lot of resources and a lot of planning. For instance, we have several heroes deep into development. The Season 2 hero is almost finished, and we're in varied stages of playtesting the next 3 heroes, 2 of which are supports. And then the next guy comes in, and he probably saw this guy, and he's like, alright, that wasn't that good of an answer. Let me try to help you there, buddy. He says, hey, we see this question a lot, and it's understandable since y'all don't see what goes on behind the scenes. A couple of things we're excited about is how much work we put in the last few years. Again, this doesn't mean fucking bullshit to me. Like, answer the goddamn question. New heroes require a massive amount of work. So for many departments, including design, art, tech, art, animation, VFX, sound, and many others. Like, I hate these answers where they're like, why don't we have more heroes? And they're like, oh, guys, it's a lot of work. It's really hard. And I'm like, yeah, but it's your fucking job. It shouldn't be that hard. You guys are professionals. This is what you do for a living. It should be a goddamn assembly line. Bam, 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 bam. Like, if someone put a gun to all their heads and it was like, we need like 20 new heroes by the end of the year, they could do it. There's nothing stopping them. Maybe they'd be a little bit less polished, which I'm fine with. Like, I know I come from the older generations, alright? Again, Quake had 3 colors, dark gray, light gray, and gray. So I don't really care if there's less polish. They could put out maps that have no anything on it. They're just strict walls. They could be orange walls. They could be gray walls. I don't give a shit. Put out new maps. Put out new content. I don't care how bad it looks. As long as it plays fine. And I know a lot of people don't feel the same way as I do. But, like, yes, I get that they're difficult. But at the same time, that's not an excuse. A lot of things are difficult. Building a plane is fucking difficult. Building a car, I'd say a lot more complex than building a hero in Overwatch. And they got robots building those pretty goddamn fast in Detroit. They also come up with their own additional launch skins, weapons, animations. Oh, that doesn't matter. Top of that, we've done a complete visual rework. Don't care about that. All of our fans are all heroes and want to give... Yeah, whatever. So, this is bullshit. This is just a bullshit. I really hate these answers. There's so many... And given, like, I'm not some AAA game developer. I haven't really gone into game development much. But when I did make games with my buddies, and we only play, and we had 48 hours to come up with a game, man, I would just work 12 hours a day coming up with this game stuff. Like, I could do a level design lickety-split, and it was actually pretty good, because I was good at it. They should have the next 15 to 20 heroes lined up with abilities. I'm not shitting you. Like, if I was Jeff Goodman, who was on the hero design team, and I'd be like, oh, you had hero designs? Yes, that's what I do. I do that 12, 15 hours a day. Bam, 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 bam. And I'd write it all out and have, this is how this is designed, this is how this is the design, this is what leverages this. Yeah, there's no swearing. You can say, yeah, fuck. You can say poopies. You can say a lot of stupid stuff. You can misspell it on purpose. But yeah. Swearing's a sub perk. Just because I want to give subs something special, but nothing too special. What happens when you try to melee as Jungle Queen if you don't have the knife? You just do a melee anyways. Any insight in your design philosophy for upcoming support heroes? Will the support mainly through healing, utility, damage, or some combination? I love this. I love this question because this is everything. How about this? Ask the opposite question of this. Will supports not support through healing, utility, or damage, or some combination? The fuck left is there? I don't know. That's like all the main things that you could put everything into a category in Overwatch. Were there any decisions to try to make to attract people who prefer other roles games to play support, like more mechanically intensive heroes or better playmaking ability? Why don't people listen to me? When Blizzard said Overwatch needs, or the world needs more heroes, it was like a beautiful metaphor. It was a call out to all people in games besides FPS players. Because what did they say? They say scientists. What was it? Engineers, scientists, mechanics, and oddities or something weird like that. They didn't say soldiers. They're not like, oh, we need professional soldiers who do this for a living. Like, they're saying, hey, people that don't play FPSs, please play our game. Like the MOBAs, the MMOs. And they brought these people in by having heroes that were more based on abilities rather than mechanical skill. Like, that's, yes. This usually falls into support and tank heroes. Now, there are some more mechanically inclined support and tank heroes, but for the most part, a lot of them are based on abilities. So, that's cool. Like, that. This has been the trademark for Overwatch. In general, the broad goal is to provide a wide range of playstyle options. So anyone who says Hog doesn't deserve to be a tank, right here is just a big fuck you. Hog is a DPS player's ability to play tank. We need DPS supports, DPS-ish supports. We need supports in the DPS category, and we need tanks in the DPS category. You need things in all categories so that me as a DPS player, how are you going to get me to play support? You're not. You're fucking not. Unless you're like, wait, Chro, there's a support that heals by AoE. You don't even got to worry about healing. Just go in there and fuck people up, and you know what? You're going to do your job as a support. Thank you. That will get me to play support. Or how about tank? Same deal. Chro, we know you don't like just holding up a shield and doing stupid shit like that, but there's this hero that can dive in and then shoot people with a shotgun. Maybe you'll be interested in that as a tank. And I'll be like, that's right, Blizzard. I might be tempted to try that. So, when people talk about accessibility, they never... they're just not good at game design or thinking outside the box, but accessibility also means playstyle. So, there's a really big shift in that regard. It's way more towards healing damage utility. We need to make sure they fit the 5v5 model and have significant impact on an outcome of a match that can be achieved in a variety of ways, depending on the individual hero kit. Future support heroes could lean more on mechanic skills, while others can be geared towards more rewarding time and positioning, more like testing things like aiming. No shit. It's a very PR answer. Are you planning on updating the colored blind system? Yes. Characters, stories, blah, 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 blah. Lore, don't care. Is there anything you tell us about new hero designs or voice lines? The change for Reese's personality seems really interesting. I love Junkrat's new design. This person actually calls out why I hate the new Junkrat design. Like, I love Junkrat. For his visual update, we try to keep his iconic feel of the character while keeping the new design feel fresh and new. For him specifically, we try to embrace more of his tinkerer aspect of his personality. We don't want people to forget that he's not only crazy, but undoubtedly intelligent too. That's why I don't like the goggles. He just seems like a fucking nerd now. I don't want to play a goddamn nerd. Will Council get aim assist? No. Thank God. Does Moira have any Father Ted references? Irish stuff? I'm Irish. Don't know. Don't care. What social systems are coming to Overwatch 2? A lot of people ask for clans or some in-game tournaments. We're looking to add more social systems to Overwatch 2, and a guild system is near the top of the list for us. A feature like this is a great opportunity, yada yada yada, but it's not there yet. Will leveling up be the same, just not without the border? Yes. You will level up a battle pass. Origin story made it seem like she knew he was a hamster. Yes. This is a good question. I've noticed there's a major disconnect between the Overwatch community and the broader gaming community when it comes to the perception of Overwatch and Overwatch 2. Yes. Oh, if you don't play Overwatch at all and you're like, oh, let me see what Overwatch 2 is about, you'd be like, it's the same fucking game. You're kind of correct. I don't think what they're changing in Overwatch 2 is enough to call it Overwatch 2. I would say they need to give it like this is old, but like an expansion pack name. Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne. Cool. It should be Overwatch. Call of the Omnic. I don't know. I think I just said Call of because I think that was like something from World of Warcraft. I don't know. But like, there's Red Alert. There's Red Alert Counter-Strike. There's Red Alert Aftermath. Right? There are these expansion packs, and they just had a name to it. If they named it like that, I think there wouldn't be that much of a backlash as it would be like Overwatch 2. Oh. Because it sounds like a brand new game when really nothing's changed. To the casual player. Confusion seems about Overwatch 2 details from the players not having all the context about our plans, as well as our change in strategy to shift to free-to-play model and release PvE content first. Okay. No one gives two fucks about what I've highlighted right here. You think some player that's never played hasn't played Overwatch in 4 years, and they're like, oh, you're going to free to play. That's why you're calling it Overwatch 2. That makes sense. That's going to make me play it. No! You have to deliver something different. I have to boot up the game, and something has changed dramatically. That hasn't happened. Not to a casual player. Nothing has changed. Hell, I wouldn't doubt if someone picked up Overwatch 2 that hasn't played Overwatch in a while, and they're just like, oh, I didn't notice there was 5 heroes now. I thought there were before. Like, there's some people going to think that. So it doesn't. This is all just bad. This is bad. What's the team's opinion on the number of heroes in each role? Are you going to try to make them equal, etc., etc., etc.? A high number of damage heroes is directly related to the fact that damage was originally the 2 different roles, offense and defense. It was never our intent to create a role that had far more heroes than the other 2 roles, but when we created a role queue. We know that our support hero lineup needs more variety, and it's a focus for us going forward, but we can't abandon development of damage heroes given their popularity. Having exactly the same number of heroes in each role is not a goal we're likely to achieve, or to ever actively pursue, but having more supports ASAP is. To that point, 2 of the 3 heroes in after Season 2 are supports, and Aaron Keller revealed earlier on this thread. What happened to the experimental patch? There was a backend issue with hotfixing, updating without a full patch, that was causing a lot of players to crash when trying to play the experimental card. No ETA on that with a result, but many of those changes will also be in the upcoming beta. So we'll probably never see that change, that experimental card, and we'll get it in the beta. I've seen the idea thrown a lot about where it's the team's stance on movement acceleration. We tried this out in Overwatch 2 development. The nice thing about it was that it reduced the effectiveness of the 80 strafing spam. This made hitscan heroes much more consistent with their damage output, which isn't a problem since we could balance around that. I find this funny because hitscan is consistent. Whatever damage nerf they're going to give hitscan because of this, they should do that anyways, and the game could be balanced. The main problem was that players were so used to how responsive movement feels that in Overwatch 1 that it was too jarring to make a big of a change. Which is weird because you called it Overwatch 2, which should have been a brand new game. No. And after trying smaller and smaller increments, it kind of got to the point where it wasn't much tangible benefit to aiming, but movement still felt laggy, so we got rid of it altogether. Good. I hate movement acceleration. I come from Quake, so I don't like it. Can you talk about the after action report and what players will see? You'll see your history section of your profile. You'll be able to quickly see key information of your recent games. The initial implementation of game reports will include basic information such as a map, game mode, result, and the hero you played. With the report, you can view statistics for all the heroes you played and a snapshot of the final in-game scoreboard. We're also starting to design additional features for the future like teamfight statistics and a timeline to show what key events in the game took place. I hope it's just not recent games. I really hope it's not. This is what they should do. This should be a local file. And if my game, because I don't want to ever throw out old data, goes up to 20 gigs, then that's my goddamn, choice. This should be a local file that people can edit and change and do whatever they want with. It should be CSV, exportable, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah, that type of stuff. Will Overwatch 2 include an increased amount of accessibility features compared to its predecessor? It's a stupid question. I mean, it's not a bad question. I just don't care about it. If we buy the Overwatch pack, do we get beta access on the 28th guaranteed, or just guaranteed beta access at a random time after the 28th? You will get it on June 28th if you buy it. Can you give more details on skill rating? We know you're removing the number, but how will it work? Yada, yada, yada. This is really funny because I'll just read it. There will be 5 new sub-tiers within the current skill tiers. Right? Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, grandmaster. Each skill tier was previously 500 SR, and each of the new 5 sub-tiers now correspond to what was 100 SR. So if you're between 2000 and 2009 2099 SR, you would be considered a gold 5 player in the new system. If you achieve the master tier with 3733 SR, you'll now be a Masters 3 player. Yeah, bronze 5 is 1 to 1100 basically. So yes, they remove the number, but you'll know the number within 100 SR. But you won't actually see it go up and down until you get 7 wins. But it's really funny. They're like, oh yeah, brand new SR system. But we don't tell you the number. We just tell you within 100 of that number. So, okay, cool. That doesn't really matter. The big difference is you don't see your SR going up and down all the time. It updates after 7 wins. That's actually the big change. Will new maps added to Overwatch 2 have stories? Yes, there's hidden lore in it. Yada, yada, yada. Will it be accessible? I love this question because they call out Blizzard. Will there be an accessibility option to disable screen shake and head bob in this beta or in Overwatch 2? I would really like to play without headaches. Apex Legends, Halo Infinite, Call of Duty Warzone, PUBG, Rainbow Six Siege, all these games are competitive FPS and have the accessibility option to disable screen shake. Blizzard always says they want their games to be accessible, but Overwatch 2 is lacking in modern accessibility options. Fuck yeah, who is this? Call them out. I love it. Good job, Bull X Bull. We are currently discussing viable solutions for camera shake. Discussing viable solutions. Here's a fucking solution. Turn it off. What is there to discuss? We'll share more information with you when we can. I love how they're just like, you're always about accessibility, but you guys don't actually do it like all the other games do. And they're like, well, we're thinking about making a way of possibly changing it. Just say, we're going to make a way to turn it on and off. Are there any other heroes getting reworks between now and launch? And it's just another fucking PR answer. We're not just committed to launching new heroes and content, but making changes to existing ones if they become necessary. Hello? You need to fucking balance this game every 1 to 2 months. We should see a balance patch that touches most heroes. 2 months for sure. We have some fun changes on the way for Symmetra in the upcoming beta, and partway through it, we'll introduce a change to Moira. We're all listing some changes to Brigitte, especially for her ult, that we're hoping to get in the game for launch. Past that, we'll continue to look at and make changes in heroes based on the needs of the game. It's an exciting time, and a lot can happen with the game when the public starts playing it. I get so frustrated, like if Aaron Keller was in my room right now, I'd punch him. Punch him right in his face. Because I'm just like, this is what games should be doing all the time, and it's really weird that you're like, oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it when it's needed. And it's like, always fucking do it. Not when it's needed, always do it. Always change. If season whatever the fuck it is on October 4th starts, and the top players are still Tracer and Ashe, nerf Tracer and Ashe. But they won't. They won't. I can't guarantee it. Maybe they're going to fuck around with things, but I expect Blizzard not to do shit with balance. With the recent Jungle Queen gameplay, Chro and Symmetra and utility to other characters, naming Lucio Speedor, yada yada yada. Basically, what are you guys going to do about overlapping abilities? Remember how I talked about this one? I talked about it yesterday. I was like, just put a max speed cap in. Overlapping abilities is always an interesting discussion topic for our team. We're generally okay with it, but it really depends on what the ability mechanic is. No shit. For example, we found many players not to be excited by stacking barriers. Oh wow, a boring thing that there's twice of. Of course it's going to be different than healing. Healing is an ability mechanic that stacks and prevents dying, but it's fine until the values get too high and consistent. So it's really a question of degrees. I hate this. This is such an asshole thing to say. Oh, humans like water, but isn't it weird that if you drink too much you die because you're actually drowning? Oh, let me talk down to you because there's so many different, you just don't understand. And it's like, no, we get it, you dumbass. You know what we're saying. Take this bullshit out. We'll see if stacking or alternating AoE speed boosts become too problematic, or conversely, if it opens up a new and interesting gameplay strategies. There's currently a cap on maximum speed boost, which, if I recall, is 75%. The value could change in the future. I think 75% is because of Diva. I think it's Diva. This was an issue when Lucio would speed boost Diva. And Diva, for like a couple days, could just like really quick. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It was very short time frame. But yeah, I mean, they should just put the max speed boost at like 40% and be done with it. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's the AMA. There's some good questions. There are some dumb questions. I'll post this up on YouTube if people just want to listen to me yell at Overwatch people. Apparently, people do that. They just listen to me ramble. So cool. But yes, what this last question? There's actually some good news from this one. Is that they're like, look, we're not going to worry about stacking stuff until it becomes a problem. And why I like that is because if you have to go into hero design and just be like, oh god, what if they do combine with this hero and this hero and this hero, and they combine with this hero and this hero and this hero, and you lose so much coolness that you could design because you're so worried about stepping on everyone's fucking toes. Really, what you got to do is you're like, this is a core hero, this is the core design of a hero, and let's do stuff around this. And you're like, oh, they get some speed boost. Let's start minimizing speed boost. Right? And I know Blizzard doesn't like this because you kind of create exceptions, and that could be considered complicated, and Overwatch is meant to be very simple. So, I do like, they're like, alright, we're going to try to do this just so we can open up hero design, and we may have to do a very complex answer, or a more complex answer. But we're okay doing a complex answer. But yeah. Yeah, that's it. So, I hope you got something